Welcome to a journey into the world of Japanese garden design, where every stone, tree, and view has meaning. At the heart of this philosophy lies shakkei, or borrowed scenery. Imagine standing in a quiet garden where distant mountains, temples, or forests become part of the composition, seamlessly blending nature beyond the walls with the carefully arranged elements within. This practice reminds us that beauty doesn't stop at the boundary of a fence. It flows outward, capturing landscapes far away and weaving them into a tranquil sanctuary. Through shakkei, a small garden feels infinite, inviting us to slow down, breathe deeply, and see how thoughtful design can connect us to the wider world beyond our immediate surroundings.
In Japanese garden design, borrowed scenery transforms even the smallest courtyard into a boundless experience. By framing a distant hilltop, a pagoda roof, or even the sky itself, the garden expands its reach. Imagine a stone lantern casting its soft glow as your eye follows beyond the wall to a mountain rising in the distance. The interplay between near and far is intentional, creating harmony between human space and the natural world. These gardens teach us to look past barriers and embrace what lies beyond. It's not about what we own, but what we notice. Shakkei gently guides us toward gratitude, showing us that beauty is always around us, waiting to be framed, appreciated, and cherished.
Picture a garden pond reflecting the sky above. The water's surface mirrors drifting clouds, extending the scenery into infinite depth. This is one of the simplest yet profound examples of borrowed scenery in landscape design tips drawn from Japanese tradition. Instead of walls, mirrors, or paint, nature provides its own canvas. Designers carefully angle ponds and arrange stones so the reflections capture more than what is physically present. A viewer seated beside the water sees not only the crafted space, but also the vastness of the heavens above. In this way, shakkei doesn't only borrow mountains or trees, it borrows time itself, reminding us that every moment has its own reflection worth admiring.
Traditional Japanese garden design often uses architectural features as part of shakkei. A temple roofline rising beyond the garden wall becomes a poetic extension of the scene. The contrast between human craftsmanship and natural surroundings highlights the balance of culture and environment. Designers understand that beauty lies in coexistence rather than dominance. Imagine walking a gravel path and at the end of the view, framed perfectly by pines, sits a shrine in the distance. It feels as though the garden stretches endlessly. These intentional compositions guide the eye, teaching us landscape design tips that emphasize respect for heritage, for place, and for the ways human artistry can harmonize with nature.
Shakkei also draws upon seasonal changes. In spring, cherry blossoms beyond the garden wall appear as if they belong to the inner courtyard. In autumn, distant maples flame red, deepening the garden's palette. This borrowed scenery ensures the garden is never static, but alive, shifting with time. Japanese garden design thrives on this impermanence, celebrating the cycles of life. A pond framed by reeds becomes more than water. It becomes a canvas for seasons. This subtle technique reminds us that design isn't about control, but partnership. As nature changes, so too does the garden, offering new perspectives to those who pause and look. It's a dialogue between permanence and change, framed with intention. Imagine walking through a Japanese garden where bamboo fences don't block views but carefully frame them. Beyond the fence, a hillside forest stretches, its green canopy blending seamlessly into the garden's composition. This is shakkei at its most subtle, using design to guide sight rather than restrict it. Borrowed scenery allows the garden to breathe outward, never feeling closed in. Landscape design tips from this philosophy encourage us to think differently about boundaries. Instead of building high walls to separate, we learn to create windows that connect. The garden becomes a bridge between the intimate and the vast, teaching us that harmony exists when we see ourselves as part of the wider environment. One powerful form of Shakkei is the use of distant mountains. In Kyoto, many gardens were designed with sightlines that captured the silhouettes of nearby hills. Even though the mountain lay far beyond, it became the backdrop, giving the garden depth and majesty. This borrowed scenery transforms scale. What may be a small courtyard suddenly feels grand, echoing the earth's larger rhythms. These Japanese garden design principles remind us that perspective matters. With the right frame, even the far away becomes intimate, and the vastness of nature enters our lives. Mountains stand eternal, reminding viewers of strength and timelessness, anchoring the garden in something greater than itself.
Borrowed scenery doesn't always need grandeur. Sometimes the smallest detail, a single tree leaning over a wall, can extend the scene. Imagine a pine beyond the boundary whose branches arch gracefully into the sky. The garden designer might place a stone basin or lantern beneath it, connecting the borrowed view with the crafted elements. In Japanese garden design, this harmony between near and far creates intimacy. It teaches us to see beauty in modest gestures, not just dramatic landscapes. Landscape design tips from Shakkei reveal that every garden, no matter how small, can invite something larger into its presence. All it takes is perspective, patience, and thoughtful framing.
Water also plays a vital role in Shakkei. A stream running outside the garden may be directed so that its sound flows inward, creating the illusion of presence even when unseen. This borrowed scenery works through the senses, inviting the ear to participate alongside the eye. In Japanese garden design, the sound of trickling water carries distance into the heart of the space. Imagine hearing the gentle rush beyond while watching koi glide across a still pond within. These layered experiences deepen tranquility. Shakkei reminds us that design is not only about what we see, but also what we hear and feel, blending outer and inner worlds into one serene moment.
Thank you for joining this journey into the Art of Shakkei, the timeless practice of borrowed scenery in Japanese garden design. We have seen how distant mountains, temples, skies, and even humble fields can become part of a small sanctuary, reminding us that boundaries are illusions and that beauty flows endlessly. These landscape design tips reveal not only how to shape space, but how to shape perception. Shakkei encourages us to slow down, to notice, and to feel connected to something greater than ourselves. If this exploration inspired you, don't forget to subscribe for more stories of design, nature, and tranquility. Until then, may every view you see be a borrowed gift of serenity.